This is being recorded. Let me admit everybody. So glad that you're here. Welcome everybody. Welcome everyone. Some of us are still coming online here. It's just about 12 o'clock. I'm inside today. They're doing some construction out by the hammocks, major construction. Still admitting folks. And I have an old friend here inside with me. Welcome, Allison. So good to have you here. And new and old friends here in the Zoom room. Welcome, welcome everyone. Yeah, so it's just about 1 minute past. Occasionally we do have folks that join us as we are beginning, so we will begin. First of all, I just want to welcome everybody. This is RTPFit meditation, which is held every Wednesday from noon to 12:30 Eastern Time here at Frontier RTP. Usually out in the hammocks, always online. Today we're inside in the atrium. Is that right, Allison? Atrium? It's atria when there are more than one. It's a beautiful space if you've not been here, a beautiful co-working space. So I want to give a shout out to Alicia and Amanda, the program directors here at Frontier, who make this happen. And this is a series that goes until the end of December. So today we're talking about awareness of mental objects, mindfulness of mental objects, which is the fourth foundation of mindfulness. And this is the quizzical look that I get for those who I can see. What? This is really noticing the mental factors that hinder our ability to practice. This is the mindful contemplation of those things that get in our way of practicing meditation, that get in, really why do we practice meditation? In the spirit, in the tradition of Vipassana meditation, why is it that we practice? It's to purify our minds. Would you like to join us?
I was prepared to be outside.
There's big construction out there, but...
She moved it in here to be quieter.
Yeah.
You can join outside. Yeah. They have big construction happening out there today. So we're meeting here today. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah. So we're talking about, I know, you can lie on the floor.
I brought him down. I think I fell asleep last night.
You what?
I think I fell asleep last night. So I brought a yoga mat. I was all prepared to be down on the ground outside.
So
But that's fine.
you are talking about one of the hindrances that keeps us from our mindfulness practice, our meditation practice, which is sleepiness. That's what we're talking about today. It's awesome that you brought that up. Yeah, it happens. It's perfectly normal for us to have one of these things that come up. So I have several people online, so I'm here, and these are in, so, we just work with it. Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to practice. Sound good? So what was I saying? So I was saying that in our in the mindfulness tradition, in Vipassana tradition of meditation, we practice in order to purify our minds, to rid our minds of greed, anger, and hatred. Right? So it's all about getting into our natural state, and the pure natural state, our true state, is a state of love. This is when our true state is living in our hearts. But our culture, welcome. Still have people coming in. our culture and our conditioning teaches us to live in our minds and for our hearts to take over. So you think about our lives, how much time we spend not in our hearts, how much time we spend in our minds, how much time we spend with something other than our hearts in charge. So just think about that. So what are the hindrances to living in our hearts? These are the same hindrances to our meditation practice. These are the same hindrances to our mindfulness living, to our meditation, mindfulness meditation practice. So the first one is desire, wanting. The second is not wanting, aversion, pushing away. Then there's sleepiness, restlessness, and doubt. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into these. Then there's fear and anxiety, which is related to aversion. There's grief. There's judging. There's our monkey mind, when we have all the thoughts, just racing thoughts. There can be body pain that gets in the way. And there can also even be overwhelming sense of joy. When I don't need to do this, I'm so happy. We think that's where we want to be, but we really want equilibrium, our equanimity rather. We want harmony. We want a balanced state, right? When we're in our heart, it's a really balanced state. So maybe you can relate to one of these. You just brought up sleepiness. You know, there's no judgment. This is the thing. There's no judgment. It's to be with it. So I fell asleep. Can I be with the fact that I fell asleep? Yeah. So I fell asleep. It's perfectly normal.
Yeah. There's in metaphysics they talk about, there are a couple people who talk about the phase of coming in and out of sleep. I don't remember if it's delta.
Theta, beta,
Yeah,
delta.
there's a phase of that, just like when you're trying to work on your unconscious mind, going into sleep and setting up, like you're set and setting, trying to prepare the message ahead of time. And then when you're coming out, taking advantage of those phases. And so even if I fell asleep, there's still an opportunity, there's still useful contact area before and after. Like, it's not like work doesn't happen, work gets done. It's
Right,
just not
right. And there are some phases of sleep that the brain is in a similar state as it is when it's in a deep meditation. Right.
So I don't see it as a loss.
It's not a loss. It's not a loss, but it's to be aware of it, because we really want, when we're sitting in meditation or lying in meditation, to have an alert mind. Excuse me, I'm letting someone else in. It's wonderful to have everyone here. I need to count real quickly. 2, 8. Okay. So desire is really interesting, and it's interesting for us when we're in this contemplative place, when we're meditating, to notice the waves of desire. Like, I want to be somewhere else. I don't want to be on the cushion, or I want to be on the cushion so I can be away from real life. It's just interesting to notice. So they did this research study. I'm off. They did a research study. Someone just joined, with people, asking them if they had an opportunity to kiss someone that they admired, like a celebrity. Do you want to kiss them in 3 hours, or do you want to kiss them in 3 weeks? And this, like 95% of the people said 3 weeks. So there's this human nature that likes the anticipation. What's that?
Life's too short for that.
But there's something in human nature that enjoys the anticipation. Think about it. When you're going to go on a big trip, the anticipation of what is to come, and then we get on the holiday, and are we really present for the holiday? enjoying it as much as we did the anticipation? Or is it, oh, only 5 more days, only 4 more days, only 3, or are we really there in the moment of the experience? Something to notice about what's happening with ourselves. Where are we? Are we in our heart? And this is one of the things I love. One teacher says, when our mind and our hearts and our body are all in the same place at the same time, that's it. That's when we're fully present. Heart, mind, and body all in the same place at the same time. So all of this very, very normal. Very normal to want to pull something in or push something away. Very normal to be restless. When is this going to be over? I'm not comfortable. I'm sleepy. I want to take a nap. To be in doubt. I'm not doing it right, or am I doing it right? What's wrong with the teacher? To be in fear. Think about what's your go-to emotion. Like, what's the easiest emotion for you to go to? Anxiety, fear, anger. What? No emotion. Go into.
I just throw over to my left brain and stay over there where it's safe.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I go straight to anger. Don't know where to go? Boom. To know those propensities. Maybe grief. Some of us are in, the grief keeps us. There's a Native American saying that grief is where our heart tears open, and this is where we can open ourselves to loving kindness. Grief can be an opening. So for all of this, whether we're in grief or judgment, all of this is a place for us to just say, wow, this is where I am. Thank you. Thank you, restlessness. Thank you, sleepiness. Thank you, aversion. Thank you, desire. I notice that this is where I am. I notice this is where I am. Can I be here? Can I just sit with this? So that's what we're going to do. Sound good? Okay, so I'm going to ask you all to uncross your legs and put both feet on the earth. And we have a lot of stuff going on all around us. I know these chairs are. You want a pillow?
Keep me awake.
It'll keep you awake. Let's just get as comfortable as we can in these. We're in sort of awkward chairs here, but it's okay. I've got one more person to admit. This is great. So wherever you are, lying down, sitting on the cushion in your chair, just uncrossing your arms and your legs, wiggling your spine into alignment. Sensing your body in your space. And just connecting with your breath. And for this exercise, I'm going to invite you just to breathe deeply down into your lower belly. Connecting with the breath deep in your lower belly, noticing the rise of your lower belly as you breathe in and the fall of your belly as you breathe out. And just a couple deeper than normal breaths here to settle in. And closing your eyes if it feels safe, otherwise just lowering and softening your gaze. And just letting your breath now breathe itself. Now just noticing whatever is arising for you in this moment. If you are deeply connected to the present moment and your breath, just being with that. If you notice that you're feeling fidgety or restless, just naming that. Seeing if you can give it space. And you know, the practice here really is just to return to the present moment, connecting with your breath, perhaps pressing your feet into the earth, or connecting to the sounds around you to come back into the present moment. And then just notice what disconnects you. What's happening? Maybe there's some sensation on the body that's unpleasant, that draws your attention. Just naming that. Sharp pain in my back, or whatever it is. Just being with it for a moment, naming it, giving it some space. And noticing if it shifts, if it changes. Maybe whispering to whatever has arisen, this too. I can be with this with some compassion and loving kindness. And then returning to your breath. And if you more easily connect to your breath in another place, not your lower belly, you can go to that place, your chest, the back of your throat, your nostrils. And with whatever's happening, perhaps holding it with compassion. Naming it, giving it space. How much space does it need? And then blanketing it with compassion. Imagine a warm, soft blanket of compassion around whatever it is. Noticing the distractions, sounds that call us from the practice, and just beginning again. And what arises from the distractions? Judgment, aversion, naming that, giving that space, holding that in loving kindness. Or perhaps looking at the opposite quality. If caught in judgment, perhaps bringing in a memory or when you recall you were in deep acceptance of yourself and others. Sitting in this moment and sensing everything that arises with this memory of deep acceptance, the sensations that arise, the senses that are stimulated. If caught in restlessness, perhaps recalling an experience when you were in deep calm. And if you're sleepy, perhaps taking a deep breath and remembering a time when you were full of vibrant energy. You know, whether you're in contentment, in wanting, in sleepiness, in grief, just knowing it's perfectly normal. Just noticing, naming, giving whatever's present space, bringing in loving awareness, bringing in tender compassion. And then perhaps looking at the opposite. Noticing the shifts, Noticing any changes. And once again, connecting with your breath wherever you find it most easily. Resting in your natural awareness. Resting in your heart. Resting in this moment. And listening to these words from Rumi, the guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Breathing in and out, and preparing to open your eyes as I ring the bell. Thank you. If anybody has any questions or wants to share their experience, I'll be here. Next week is exploring truth.
What's after that?
The truth of suffering.